In this video, you'll learn how to set up equipment items in preparation for tracking equipment costs for a project. Equipment items are part of the cost database, which you can use to estimate the work on a project, and we'll cover the cost database and estimates in an upcoming lesson. But you can also work with equipment items from the equipment module, and you can process equipment timecards on individual projects. Let's start in the equipment module. The overview page shows the number of equipment items set up in the system, along with time entries for equipment, generated either through the clock-in, clock-out module, or through equipment timecards. You should set up each piece of equipment whose time you'll track for projects. We'll start by looking at a piece of equipment that has already been set up. The equipment item page shows header information such as make, model, and features of the equipment, and whether it is owned or rented. You can upload a photo of the equipment if you want to. You can track purchase and sold to information for each piece of equipment, for reporting purposes. Typically, the purchase date and sold date for rented equipment will both be blank. Owned equipment will have a purchase date but no sold date, and sold equipment might not have a purchase date if you acquired it before implementing Sage Construction Management. But it will have a sold date. You can save several types of rates for each piece of equipment. If you own the equipment, you'll want to set up rates for time in use, or run time, idle time, and downtime. For each of these three, you can enter a base cost rate and burden cost rate. The sum of these two rates is the total cost rate, and it should be less than the proposal bill rate value to ensure you make a profit when deploying the equipment to a job site. If you rent the equipment, you can enter a daily, weekly, and monthly rate for the rental. You'll still need to track operational costs such as fuel, maintenance, and other costs you incur while using the rented equipment on a job. You can account for these costs by adding default base costs in addition to the rental fees. On estimates, these default rates can be overridden by location and project-specific rates. These two types of rates do not affect time cards, only estimate pricing. For example, if the cost of operating the equipment in a particular geographical area is higher because of temperature extremes, travel, delivery distances, or other factors, enter rates specific to that location. Any time cards for the equipment on projects in that location will use the location rate. You establish the list of locations available for location-specific rates in Settings. Likewise, if the cost of using the equipment will differ based on certain projects, you can enter rates specific to the project. Add classifications to the equipment to more easily find it in search lists. From each equipment item's profile page, you can set up a list of applicable spare parts if you need to monitor parts on hand and storage space. You can also log the service and repair history for the item, so you have an accurate idea of maintenance costs. Under Equipment Timecard Entries, you can quickly get to lists of timecard entries by timeframe for all projects. Finally, upload any documentation and manuals supplied by the manufacturer to the Linked Files area. Let's go back to the Equipment Overview page and import equipment from a spreadsheet. To find the import template, go to Help. Getting Started. Import options from Microsoft Excel. Under Cost Database, click Equipment Items. Scroll down to see a link to the template and a table showing the list of fields. From the Equipment Overview page, next to Equipment Items, click the Actions button and select Import from Excel. Select the file to import and click OK. You'll see the new equipment items in the list. In this video, you learned how to set up equipment items in preparation for tracking equipment costs for a project.